So in this video, we're going to create the button box, which will sit on the back of the wheel. So I'm going to make sure I spin this around to the backside, and we're going to start our sketch on here. Now the button box doesn't need to go over where the handles are, so we just need a profile in the middle of this. So I'm going to use the project tool. Now this is something we use super regularly, so project, get familiar with it. P key on the keyboard, P. And click that and hit OK. So we get all these purple lines and we can fill this out. So L for line, I'm just going to draw a line straight down between these two and between these two, and then I'll do the same at the top. So what that should do is should split out this shape into 3 separate ones. And this will be the start of our button box. Don't hit finish sketch. And then extrude. This is the element we want to extrude, and it's going to be 27 millimeters. Now it's very important when I do this is I don't join. This faceplate will be an acrylic laser cut profile. This button box element will be a 3D printed element. So I need to make sure that I select new body from here. And OK. So now I should see over here a body 1 and a body 2. And what is really good practice is naming these. So if I double click where it says body 1, I'm going to call this wheel face. And body 2, we'll call it box. It's really good practice to name all your bodies so that when we get down to the end of this project and we've got dozens of different parts in here, we can find what we want easily. You can also name your sketches as well and your extrusions. It may be a little excessive, but it does come in handy when you need to come back and edit things. And I could rename this sketch to wheel face. So I know when I'm coming back, I know that that is the wheel face. I could name this extrusion wheel face. So it's good practice, especially when you're working with larger models. So we're going to just curve this top edge. We'll go 15 and OK. Now, obviously I won't want this as a solid body. I'm going to have it as a hollow object. So I could use the shell tool like we've used previously. So I could hide off the wheel face. I could go modify shell and we'll remove that face. And we could also remove, holding down the control key, you can also remove that face. So that's one way we could go about doing this. But we're not. And the reason why we're not is because we need to have some bolt holes which go through the face and they'll go through the button box, and we want it to align everything. So I want to include that in my wall of the button box. So what we'll do is we'll start a sketch on this face here, and we'll start off again P. So we'll project this face P into our design. So that gives us this purple edge. We can now bring in the offset tool, and we're going to offset this edge by -3 mil. Now 3 millimeters may be a little thicker than it really needs to be, but we'll sort of hold all the body nice and tight together, so that'll work out well. Now we're going to work out where we're going to put our bolt holes, which are going to go through the wheel face, it'll go through the button box, and it'll go through the back plate as well. So we're going to use the circle tool. We've already got some nicely placed points here already, so I'm going to use these ones. So the bolt we will be using for that will be the M5 by 40 we built earlier. So an M5, 5mm hole, enter, and we want another one over here. So just use that point, 5mm. We'll also want to have a wall thickness around this as a part of the wall of the button box. So we're going to use the offset tool. That's the feature we're going to offset. We're going to also give it 3mm, so it should overlap into the 3mm wall of the box as well. And we'll do it over here too. So yes, you could mirror if you wanted to, because that point's already there and it's only one other feature. It's probably not mandatory. These ones up here I might want a little bit closer. It seems because this is a 15mm radius. The point that is generated here is a little bit further inboard than I'd really like it. So I'm just going to freehand one here, 3mm. Whoops, 5mm. It's a 5mm bolt, and I'm going to make sure that my dimension does not come out on an angle like this. So undo, Control Z, dimension, and click on the circle. I'm going to click on that dot. I'm going to come directly down and hit 5, and do the same this way. So make it 5mm above and 5mm to the left of that line, and the same over here. So 5mm circle, dimension. Again, I could have drawn this top one and this bottom one and then mirrored all this across to the other side. It might have saved me a few minutes. The other thing, I guess, if I did it that way, is it would ensure that it is all symmetrical. And I haven't got one which is very fractionally out of symmetry. Okay, offset tool on there, 3mm, and enter, and finally the one over here, 3, and enter. Okay, so this is now the face that I want to cut extrude and remove from the button box. So when I go to my extrude, click on this one and drag it through. I know that this is 27mm rather. So if I drag it all the way through, what it will do is it will cut a hole in the face as well, in the wheel face. So there's a few options in this space. One is I could deselect the visibility of wheel face, so it only cuts button box. Or over here in extrude, at the bottom, it will say objects to cut. I can select from this list which ones I want to cut. I only want to cut button box, so I can deselect that one there. So a couple of different ways you could do that. Sometimes turning all the features you don't want to cut, the visibility of those off, is a neat way to do it. But this is just as good. Okay, so we've cut that profile. There's a reason why I didn't cut the holes at the same time, and that's because I want to make sure they go all the way through the face as well. I do want to cut the wheel face with that. So we'll turn that sketch back on, and then we can do this extrude. So this feature, just the 4 5mm holes, extrude through, and in this case I do want it to cut wheel face and button box. I've turned that sketch off, and now when I spin around to the front I should have 4 little holes in that front plate. Now the only other thing I'm going to add to this will be some fillets at this stage. Again, these are really tight acute angles, so I'm going to put on some smaller fillets. Doesn't really matter. 1.5mm should do here, and the same down here. again, we could have done them as one fillet. Right. So 1.5 on each. That will just give that profile a little bit more strength, having that fillet, and will sort of help the 3D printer, I guess, make a bit more fluid sort of motion around your design. All right. Now, currently these are all painted up in just the default steel color. You can paint them whenever you like, and it might help you visualize sort of what surface is what. If this is going to be the acrylic material, this is going to be 3D printed. So it is worthwhile giving it a save if you have not already. Save, call it Racing Wheel, F1 Wheel, save your project up. Okay, next video